Hello there, and welcome to the channel. Yes, today I'm going to talk about pretty. I have things to say about pretty. So every once in a while people will say something like, research shows pretty people blah 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 blah. Okay, let's begin at the beginning. First of all, I'm not going to talk about namby-pamby, sweet little concepts of everybody's pretty in their own right, which is certainly true, but let's face it. When you're a kid transitioning from childhood to adulthood, you know dang well that there are things that are pretty and things that aren't. But defining pretty, a little trickier. It's a little trickier. And people who say that research shows pretty blah, blah, blah. Really? Where is this library and who's funding this research and how exactly are they defining pretty? Oh, I believe that you can tell if somebody's pretty, but I've also met people who aren't very pretty and think they are. And I've met people who are very pretty and think they aren't. Now, they're outliers. Most people who are pretty know they're pretty. And they know they're pretty because they have a mirror. But nobody's doing research on pretty. You don't need to do research on pretty. Pretty is complicated and ethereal and difficult and blah, blah, blah. Pretty is just one of those things that messes with people's heads really badly. And I'll prove it to you. Here's my proof to you that messes with people's heads. There are people out there who are pretty and they're so determined that they stay pretty, they will do harm to themselves to try to do so. And in that case, you see that one of the major elements in pretty is young. Think about all the different procedures that people have done to make themselves stay pretty. They're all about staying young. Now for me, human beings are at their prettiest somewhere between 25 and 45. That's me. That's the age that I think people are really super pretty. But see, the thing is, I think that idea of pretty and the need for it to be permanent is a sign of the wrong attitude toward pretty. Pretty is not what's really important about a person because it's ephemeral and it passes. And too many people believe that their beauty is what is meaningful about their life. It's not. Pretty has a lot of wonderful things about it. For one thing, pretty is typically a sign of healthy and young. And pretty attracts attention, and people like attention. I like attention. Everybody, almost everybody, not everybody. There are shy people that I really feel for who end up being physically pretty, and this makes them uncomfortable for the entirety of their lives. Because first of all, they feel they need to keep the pretty, and at the same time, they know the pretty attracts too many eyes and makes them miserable. So, before we talk about popular as a pretty teacher, we need to just talk about pretty. The thing we need to do is encourage people, regardless of their appearance, to develop their internal resources so that they know that whatever happens to their appearance, it is still going to be okay. That there's more to them than just their external appearance. There's more to all of us than just our external appearance. But unfortunately, some people get so caught up in their external appearance, they begin to believe that's the most important thing about them. It's not. Their sacred spark is what's most important about them, and that only improves with time. We soften, we develop, we consider, we mature, and everything about us improves except for our physical state. There must be a reason for that. And I once said that to Mother. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about Mother. She is one heck of a teacher. But one time, years ago, before Mother entered her physical decline, I was sitting with her and I said, it's just not fair. It just doesn't seem fair that when we get older, everything hurts and we get weaker and less able to do things. It seems like it should be the other way around. And she said, oh, Eva, it's like that so that we can let go. So that we can let go. Life is sweet. Notwithstanding the folks that suffer so much they leave early, life is a sweet blessing and we don't want to let it go. So, of course, we're not going to be pretty to the end. Some of the most pretty people in all the world fell from that beauty, and that was perfectly okay. Robert Redford may have been the prettiest man I ever saw. And I include all the pretties now and all the pretties in the... For me, he was as pretty as it happens in man. And he didn't stay that same way his whole life. He changed. He aged. He got weaker and enfeebled. And his skin was no longer smooth, and his muscles were no longer hard, and his hair, his beautiful cascading hair, changed. That's okay. That's perfectly natural. It's perfectly wonderful. Pretty is useful when we're young for attracting a mate. But it's not who you are. It's just a circumstance. And circumstances change, by definition. So if I were going to encourage young people in any way, which I did regularly, I would often suggest to them that there's more to them than how they look. There's more to them than their exuberant, abundant, seemingly unstoppable health and youth. It will end too. And all these pretty people who are chasing those surgical interferences to stop them from being old will fail. And it's too bad that they're going through that in a way, because it's okay to not be pretty. It's perfectly fine to not be pretty. Just be true to yourself. Be kind. Be generous. Work hard. Give it your best. Rest well. And love. That's what matters. How you look when you're doing it is, you know, how you look. At least you don't have to look at it. That's it for today. I hope you have a gorgeous rest of the day. And I hope you see me again, you gorgeous people.